is applicable to legal conclusions. Yeah. So basically that you can't just make conclusory statements, you have to support them with factual statements.
Excellent. Is there a second one?
Yeah, the second one is that only a complaint that states a plausible claim for relief survives a motion to dismiss. So that's going back to it can't just be conceivable, it has to cross the line to plausible.
So I'd like to call you Attorney Allen Rapid Fire. Because before I can finish the question, you're like, it was great, right on, then I'll Okay, excellent. So we know the court talks about two very important principles that they want to highlight, as she stated, from the Twombly case. The first one, basically, the complaint should not contain legal conclusions, okay? That's for the jury to decide. They said that, that Rule 8 basically marks a very notable and generous departure from the hyper-technical code pleading process that we used to have. And basically, they don't want to unlock the doors of discovery for plaintiff armed with nothing more than conclusions. You have a bunch of conclusions, but do you have any facts? They were negligent. That's not enough. Why were they negligent? Like, you gotta give me a little more information than that to survive a challenge, a 12v6 motion challenging if you state a claim, a legitimate claim upon which relief could be granted. Second, only a complaint states a plausible claim for relief survives a motion to dismiss. Determining whether or not a complaint states a plausible claim for relief, as the Court of Appeals observed in this case, you have to be context specific, right? It requires the reviewing court to draw on its judicial experience, and really just a matter of common sense. So when the judges are trying to apply the plausibility standard, they're just using kind of the reasonable person standard you think of in court. Is this plausible? Is it likely that this could happen? Or is this a stretch? Is this a Burger King situation, or does it legitimately look like this is a legitimate case that should move forward? So again, where the well-pleaded facts do not permit the court to infer more than a possibility of conduct, then the case will be dismissed. So it's not enough that it was possible. You need to give enough facts to show that this really could happen. This is likely that this probably could happen. So how do these two principles from the Twombly case relate to Iqbal? First, the plaintiff Iqbal can't just state a fact that the defendant knowingly violated my constitutional rights or had agreement to violate my constitutional rights. Those are legal conclusions. Okay, so Iqbal can't just say, hey, they violated my constitutional rights. The district court should not accept the court that these types of legal conclusions as true because it's not an assertion of fact. Remember, after we discussed the first Cattle case yesterday, I mentioned something very important about Rule 12v6 determinations. What I said is that with a 12v6 motion, the court must assume that all factual allegations of the complaint are true. Okay, so 12v6 motion, the court must assume that all factual allegations of the complaints are true. 12v6 motions lack the legal sufficiency of the complaint. So the court says it's basically harking back on that point, which is the very essence of 12v6. The court only has to accept the fact that it's true, not legal conclusions. Okay, so the allegations are conclusory and not entitled to be assumed true. So all that means is when the court, someone files a case in federal court, right? They file a pleading, a complaint, and the court, the defendant says, you know what? I don't think they filed a claim upon which relief could be granted. I don't think they comply with 82. So I want to file a 12v6 motion, Your Honor, and I want you to dismiss the case. The judge is going to say, okay, he's going to read your motion on why the case should be dismissed, the defendant's motion, and he's going to look at the plaintiff's original complaint and say, I have to apply the plausibility standard. Assuming these facts are true, just for the purpose of saying moving forward, is this plausible? Is this likely to have happened based on the facts? Is there a legitimate claim here? And if the answer is yes, they deny the motion to dismiss. If the answer is no, the case moves forward. And so that's essentially what they're doing. So just because the judge, for the purposes of deciding whether or not to how they're going to rule in 12v6 motion, just because they're assuming the facts or factual allegations are true, again, that has nothing to do with the outcome of the case. It's just to get past this first stage. Ultimately, the jury or a judge, if it's that type of case at the end, are going to decide after they've seen the totality of the case and all the evidence presented, what the outcome should be. So this is just a gatekeeping mechanism, a preliminary phase you have to get past in order to pursue your case. And so with respect to the second principle of Twombly, in terms of how that relates to the facts in the Iqbal case, it just basically emphasizes, again, that the complaint must state a plausible claim or it will be dismissed via 12v6. The court asserts that the allegations of profiling based on race, religion, or national origin is not plausible. They say it's probably not racial profiling, but instead lots of Arabs and Muslims were detained because those were the folks involved in 9/11. So they go so far as to say, quote, discrimination is not plausible. Conclusion, non-discriminatory intent to detain aliens who committed terrorist acts. That is the most controversial portion of the entire case. There was major media scrutiny about this part of the case. The idea that discrimination based on their religious and ethnic nationality is not plausible. Why do you think that was controversial? That statement,
because frankly, if you say that according to the second principle, only a complaint saying plausible can survive is context specific. Given the context and how people were on not just IoT, but on highway everywhere, it's completely plausible in terms of racial profiling. Even if the original intent was non-discriminatory in nature, it just happened to be, we know that the culprits are from this area, so it's more likely than not that anybody else connected with it is also from this area. Even if that was the original intent, from an objective person who doesn't know anything about what's going on, what they're going to see is discrimination basically. So from that point, it is plausible.
So yes.
Basically, just to short it, whether it was justified or not, they are discriminating.
No, it's good because you provide context, and context matters, and she's just summarizing what you said, but that's the controversy behind this controversial ruling. They felt like, essentially the courts didn't want to take down the Attorney General and the head of the FBI, but by saying, it's not plausible that this type of discrimination was happening. It's possible, but highly unlikely that, the head of the FBI and Attorney General would condone a policy that would target Muslim Americans as a result of the September 11th terrorist attacks. And so, yeah, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. Most scholars say, even if it wasn't intentional, as Jessica said, it is plausible and understandable that people might have had those types of adverse reactions. Is it legal? No. Is it okay? No. But nevertheless, that is kind of how that went. And so, any other thoughts on that? Yes, sir.
I'm just emailing a little bit, and in 2003, the Department of Justice released guidance for federal law enforcement officials, which said when you can use racial and ethnic profiling and when you can't. So they admitted that they're using it, and that was in 2003. So this case was in 2009. So then they said it's not plausible 6 years later. So that was interesting.
It is. It is. And so, computer, please be next to you. You reminded me of a video I was supposed to show. So we know for the court's holding, they ultimately held what attorney?
They ultimately held that they dismissed the claims that it wasn't enough to state the claimant for relief.
versus the Court of Appeals, and remands the case. And remands the case for. Oh, it's really not gonna work. Oh, it's working. You really have to see this video. Hi, can you please come to room 175 ASAP in session? Thanks. Okay, so in deciding this case, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals had to apply on the Bell Atlantic case specifically. They decided that, they said, on the basis of this new flexible possibility standard, this case still should not have been dismissed because only certain cases again require this amplified or heightened pleading standard, and this wasn't one of them. And we'll learn later on that Rule 9 cases, basically any case dealing with fraud has a heightened pleading standard, and they're saying this didn't apply for this exception. So the court says the plaintiff basically failed to plead sufficiently, facts to satisfy 882, and the court instructs the Court of Appeals to decide whether to remand the case back to the district court, meaning send it back, so that the plaintiff can amend their deficient complaint and start all over again. So I want to just briefly talk about the dissent in this case. Any thoughts, either Attorney Allen, on the dissent in this case?
I think for the dissent, what I got from it is that he's talking about alternative case management tools, which I think was one of Iqbal's, like, I think it was his second argument, that basically they could do like a limited discovery and that would like remedy the problem.
Excellent. Attorney Sharp, your thoughts on Suter, Stevens, Ginsburg, Breyer's dissent? What were they talking about? Can you add to that? There's a little bit more to it.
To me, it seems like they were saying no matter how skeptical the allegations are or implausible, we should accept them as true just so that you can hear it. And then they were saying like the only way that it would not be sufficient is if it was literally unrealistic. And they give an example of it could be alien or something.
First part of your statement was really, really good. Can you say that part again? This is really important.
That no matter how skeptical the allegations are, they should accept it as true.
Yes, yes, and yes. So the dissent doesn't agree, obviously, with the majority's holding. They think the complaint does contain sufficient allegations that the defendant knew or condoned of this discriminatory policies and their subordinates carried out. The dissent says that they're not legal conclusions, but they're rather factual allegations, and therefore, as the rule requires, should be taken or assumed as true. And so the dissent says that this is sufficient to give what the plaintiff included in their complaint was sufficient to give the defendant fair notice on how to defend themselves, which is the purpose of Rule 8A. It's just supposed to give you notice. They had notice. Discrimination was the claim they were making, so the defendant had enough notice based on 8A2 to start defending themselves. And so Breyer has an additional, Justice Breyer, separate dissent where he says the majority rule is not unjustified by preventing frivolous cases. You should use, as she was saying, discovery rules to regulate such issues. And so I want to show this video because it's really, it does such a wonderful job of summarizing the case really quick. And this is the attorney that actually argued the Iqbal case, so he's coming at it from the full guy of the Supreme Court that argued this case, and he tells you what happened afterwards. And again, what's important to emphasize is the plaintiff can still make changes to their complaint and refile it again. It's just the fact that should they even have to do that? What did they give sufficient notice to satisfy 8A2? The Supreme Court says no. A lot of legal scholars say yes. There's some volume issues. I'm going to try to figure it out.
You'll figure out once this thing's done.
The volume's all the way up. I'm right here. Oh, yeah, I'm right here.
Subtitles?
What's going on? Lee, where are you? Mute is not on.
Deadly reading.
Yeah, I can.
Such a freak.
You try putting on subtitles.
That would be magical.
Can you type me in here?
Wasn't prepared for the technology.
You know what I hate is that he'll come in here and he'll be like, one button irritates me.
Have you tried the thing about the clock at the bottom right? The little speaker?
Anything?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I was just put that.
That's,
Alright, this video is so good. I'm gonna go ahead and pass out what I have for you to start with.
we don't play it at the same time. Let's see. Have you tried to do that? Alright, 1, 2, 3, let's. Oh. How about this?
Okay, that's enough for you.
Wow. Yeah. You know, trust me, the other one, because.
Do you like Whitney Jim Becker's number so I can call him?
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite one anyway. That's good.
The argument that we were making with Iqbal was that the complaint he filed on his behalf sufficiently alleged the claim.
Can I tell you what they said gonna happen? They said he's gonna walk down here and push one button and it's gonna be it. Thank you.
That's why I make a big bunch.
Hero every day.
Just trying to avoid that.
Need you music gigs? Is there any lessons on?
No, I can't. That would be fun.
Alright, now I'm ready to go.
You should go.
Hell yeah, I'm going.
I would play.
I didn't do anything. Nothing. Alright, it's worth a watch. You're gonna make it like solidifies your understanding of the case.
So Ashcroft versus Iqbal was a case that arose out of the treatment of detainees who were held after September 11th. And the allegations in the case were that detainees who were Muslim or Arab or South Asian were treated differently than other people held in federal detention, and that they were held in solitary confinement, that they were abused, that they were physically abused, that they were verbally abused, that they were not allowed to exercise. All sorts of mistreatment that would be unlawful if it was motivated by the detainee's race or religion or national origin. In the Supreme Court, the argument that we were making for Mr. Iqbal was that the complaint he had filed on his behalf sufficiently alleged a claim of intentional discrimination against the former Attorney General John Ashcroft and the current Director of the FBI, Robert Mueller. In the lower court, the government had moved to dismiss, and the lower court had rejected that request. dismissed. And then it had been appealed to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Second Circuit Court of Appeals also said, we're not going to dismiss this case, the allegations are sufficient. And then the case went to the Supreme Court. Well, the court said that the complaint did not sufficiently allege that they were treated differently because of their race and religion by General Ashcroft and by Director Mullen. That was what the court said. And the court, in so doing, announced what a lot of people think of as a new pleading standard for federal cases. What it meant for Ms. Rickwell was that we had to go back to the lower court, and we had an opportunity to amend our complaint and to make it more specific, as the court suggested we needed to. What ended up for Ms. Rickwell is he settled the case with the United States. The United States offered to pay him a substantial sum of money to do a settlement case. What it meant for other plaintiffs, I think, is that now, before you go into court, you have to draft your pleadings a little more carefully, sometimes a lot more carefully, if you want your case to survive a motion to dismiss that you get to discovery. What it's meant practically, there's a lot of debate about what it's meant practically. Some people have said that it's led to an increase in dismissal of civil rights claims in particular, and some people have suggested that actually hasn't led to that significant of an increase in dismissal rates. And quite frankly, I think the jury is still out on that. I've conducted some research that suggests that it does have a significant impact, especially on civil rights claims, but I think there's more to be said about it. For most of the last 50 years, most states have followed the same procedures as the federal courts have. And in fact, the original federal pleading standard originated from state courts in a way. And so this is an opportunity now for state courts to decide whether or not they want to continue to follow the federal lead in pleading standards. And it's significant that so far 2 state Supreme Court cases which have considered the issue thoroughly have decided not to. They haven't thought that there was a substantial reason to do so, and they found that many of the reasons that the Supreme Court might have had didn't really obtain in either their states or generally. Some have certainly suggested that the decision was motivated in part by who the federal court and also the contact of the road was the treatment of posted members. Certainly some suggest that. My view of the court, and I respect the court greatly, and I ask my students to respect the court greatly. My view is always we have to take the court on its word. The court announces its decision. We might disagree with it. We might disagree with its reasoning. We might think that it should have waited or sought other kinds of input before making a decision, but it's made its decision, and it has given a reason. And so we have to take it on its own terms. And we and that's the best way, I think, to engage with the decision, and not, in my view, to spend time thinking about whether or not they're different if they're different than.
All right, I respectfully disagree. I want to challenge the court decision on a lot of things, and I have the right to do that as an American. Free speech. But he doesn't do a great job of kind of bringing it to life and kind of summarizing kind of what happened. They settled because they weren't discriminating against Mr. Rickwell, wanted just to make him go away. And, so at the end, the plaintiff did get relief, which is great. But in exchange for now this higher plausibility standard for pleadings. And so it would be interesting, because this case has been a while, if someone actually pulled up the data to see whether or not, how many state courts, it'd be a great large article, have adopted the plausibility standard, and if so, if that has made an increase or decrease in the number of motions to dismiss that have been granted as a result of that change. Very important case in civil procedure. I don't want your case to be dismissed. Do you have any questions about in-law? Yes.
This has a plus to do civil procedure, I guess, but do they want to avoid the case going to trial? Like, they don't want to fight it? Because, like, would it be made public all the things that, like, they did to him?
Yeah, you want to make it go away, because, you can't tell, and that's why I showed the video, too. It says he was treated poorly, but they were tortured. They were, it was a really, I don't want to say egregious, but it was severe in terms of the treatment that they received. And so that looks bad publicly. It's kind of like when it was released that the military was using is it waterboarding?
Yeah.
Which, I have mixed feelings about that. But the humanity side of me is like, we should have certain standards where, we're only going to go so far to get information. But then the other part of me is like, if this person knows that there's about to be a terrorist attack, whether it's homegrown or out of the country, make them think they're drowning if you're going to save, thousands of lives. You're not killing themselves. Yeah, it's terrible, but if you're going to save, so I gravitate back and forth. But the point is, yes, they don't want that to get out publicly. It will look very, very bad. Just like the Guantanamo thing, that was a major disgrace internationally when people found out how we were treating prisoners in that particular location. That's all.
He's mentioning about this, I think it was sort of a more significant increase in dismissals and civil rights cases. So is it safe to presume that means this higher plausibility standard also is more dismissal based on discrimination, based on
Gender, age, absolutely, across the board. Because you have a higher score on the test you have to meet to get past the gatekeeper. So, everybody should have their day in court, but I also want to. Every time I think about that Kardashian complaint, I'm like, I want to be more open, but I also don't want. If I were judge, wasting my time with those kind of lawsuits. So the docket's already overcrowded. The great extent. Yes, sorry, this is your hand.
I think the thing that shows most discrimination is that he's Pakistani Muslim, and they focused on Arab Muslim. They decided, okay, alright, that's how we're going to get all the Muslims in, put them in prison and everything. So I was just surprised that the court found that not plausible enough.
Why are you surprised? The justices are human, and they're susceptible to political pressures. They're susceptible to their own unconscious and explicit biases. So, not to be Debbie Downer, but they do a lot of decisions that are based on political affiliations, on things that are not just strict application of the law. So, and remember the example I gave of the family member where all we had to do was pay the attorney $10,000. He played basketball with the judge, and the case was dismissed, even though he was guilty as hell. And with the cheating scandal, like at this point, we all must accept at some point that although our justice system, civil and criminal, is one of the greatest systems in the world, it is not perfect, and it has its own flaws, and it's susceptible to biases, and because it's, we're humans, so they're humans running the system. They're not computers that are evaluating the data evidence and then figuring out the most plausible outcome of what happened. So the system is not perfect, and at times you'll see throughout your law school career as you move forward some of those imperfections being amplified for you to see. So it's just our job as future attorneys is to go out there and be advocates for our clients and make sure that these different legal standards are applied in a fair and equitable way, and that we don't allow biases, whether they're coming from the jury, that's what jury selection is for, or coming from the judge, we hold them accountable and make sure that everyone is treated the same. And at the end of the day, we just want to ferret out the truth, whatever that is, right? So know how to be champions for justice. Whether it's a corporation, we're trying to get a fair deal or whatever. Before we move forward, last call. Everybody understand equal and possibility standard? Hey, I'm doing my job. All right, yes.
There was one paragraph you highlighted that was on page
394.
Started on 394.
Everybody, what are you doing?
Are you talking about to survive a motion to dismiss paragraph? Because that's
I'm trying to find it because that way I can notes it.
Page-
And then, like, the one on page 1. I think it's that one.
there's one on 394, like in the middle.
Yeah, it's thank you. The third paragraph on page 394. All right, so I handed out another opportunity for you to see how well you can graph on the zero. Yes, sir.
We don't have the paper, do we? Yeah, we're pretty sure.
So I want you to, thank you, to go ahead and, it's looking at summary judgment, you've already looked at personal jurisdiction, and, sorry about that. So at least get started on it, and we will discuss this in an open format, in Monday's class, and I will give you another sample response. This should be really good, because you guys said you understand this. Only two pathways to securing civic kind of jurisdiction, which are what? Alright, so this is very easy. Understand.
So are we turning this into you, or?
No, I want you to do it, as you're reading this, I will bring it on Monday, and I will randomly collect some to see where we are in the process, and make sure you do it. Alright, so you got like 20 minutes to get please get it going. Oh, I do my Starbucks gift cards, okay, sorry. Who doesn't have one? Want to read it out loud so it's not weird, or you okay?
Do you want us to do a personal jurisdiction assessment and subject matter that was turned into, like those, or what is the?
Call to question.
Yeah.
I just want you to tell me whether or not there's subject matter jurisdiction.
Oh, subject matter.
Yeah. It should have said at the top. How did I just not do that? I apologize. Yes, it should say subject matter jurisdiction. So can Patty sue in Georgia federal court? So, yeah, but I want to know if she can sue in Georgia federal court. So that's the and in order to do that, you have to establish the subject matter jurisdiction. So can Patty sue in federal court? Alright, so the three ties for first place on the sample complaint exercise are Patrick Williams, Shelby Boyd, and Natalie Richter. I have 2 gift cards. Feel guilty. So I'm just gonna bring a third one. So who's okay waiting for the third? I don't know where you are.
Oh, I don't care, I can wait.
Okay. Where are you, Patrick?
Okay.
Aw, cheers.
It's like this classroom. It just like hides me.
I'm happy it's here.
Thank you.
Shelby all day. Shelby Ward. What was your name?
Everyone's name.
This is the old
Just one of
time.
each.
Remember where we used to cheat and just look at the feature profiles before class starts. Now we're playing like the flashcard game.
You need to do what Rothstein does. She has
The
our
little note
pictures.
cards.
Yeah.
Make sure she looks at you. Yeah. So I owe you. So what's the most efficient way to get these? Do you even care? Do you want them back? Why? I'm gonna do a sample. It's an exercise. It's not a sample. It's not an exam.
I want to redo mine.
I never sent you.
I know, I have it.
Oh, so I was trying to put them in ABC order. I just don't know how to efficiently give them back. Try this way. All right, Ben Church. No, don't come on. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, second price is great.
Come on down.
Christopher Blue.
I think that she should do
I
what
think
Professor called
it's
us to learn our names.
All
No,
right,
to learn our
coming that
names.
way. Neil Baker.
I don't think you can go.
Not today. Not today in the world. I was like,
That hurts.
That's in the second round. I guess you all the time. Yeah, you were at her too. So that is
I'm
hilarious.
Peyton. Awesome. I'll be back upstairs. All right, Priya.
I'm sweating out that. That's funny. That's really funny.
Yes. I'm gonna keep Natalie's one, and are you okay with me putting it on the overhead? So I'll do that. I'll give it back to you. Okay, Brian Coon.
She's playing state. Then she's making
Oh, can't read the handwriting. Ready? Sorry.
Good
Olivia.
job, bro. Good job. Over here by grade.
I'll put a sample. One of the people that got a gift card of the Aaron. Aaron, Shelby.
Did you just get rid of her?
Yeah, so far it doesn't, unless it's if it ain't going to remove it.
I've got Leah Sharp.
Well, it could.
Yes, here, 'cause I was worried about her.
I mean, you can't say it doesn't.
Kelsey and Anna. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you. She's gonna get my back that
Taylor in the house. Taylor.
No, thank you.
Twice.
The other okay.
She's not here today. Did you do that? I got that.
Zach, where are you?
Zach?
Zach?
Zach right there.
Alex. Oh, yeah, and again, I will put up one of the, maybe Jacob. Samantha Mullen. Emily Lineweaver. Greg. Bailey, I love your name. Where are you? Sydney. I can discuss it. Ashley. I've got 2 minutes.
That's Bailey's. Hey, that's Bailey's.
Catherine Pierce. What did I just do?
You gave her Bailey's.
John Schumer. Noah Webb. And no John Shoemaker and no Craig Lamb. Okay, so before you head out, initially, how are you feeling about that question? Do you feel like you can answer it? Are you serious?
It's a little, yeah.
It could go either way, like.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
so with both sides.
Like the federal one, just like a local game.
No. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for asking. So just go into subject matter jurisdiction. All I want you to tell me is if we can get this case not in state Georgia court, but Georgia federal court. And can we get it in there based on diversity jurisdiction or federal question? Why or why not? That's it. You're going to show both sides because some people are going to say, yeah, you can get it in under federal question, and the other side's going to say, no, you can't. So I need you to know why. I need you to be attorneys. It's never clear cut. Very rare. Any more before you go out in the world? Yes.
So we're saying what side we're going?
Yes, the plaintiff. Okay, so let's look at one more thing before you go. So obviously, if Patty filed a case.